I'm making this because I need a fixed point. That's the only way I can explain it without sounding dramatic. A fixed point. Something outside my own memory. I started labeling these recordings 3 weeks ago after I found duplicate notes in the apartment. Same handwriting. Same paper. Same pen pressure. Lists of things I had supposedly already checked. Front door locked. Kitchen window latched. Bathroom vent covered. The vent part bothered me because I don't remember covering it the first time. I found the note in the drawer beside the sink, folded carefully like it mattered. I thought maybe I'd written it while half asleep. I work late. I lose track of days sometimes. That happens. But then I found another note behind the television. Do not rearrange the hallway. Not don't move furniture. Not leave things alone. Specifically the hallway. I live alone. There isn't much to rearrange. After that, I started recording details out loud before bed. What I moved. What I locked. Where I left things. Practical stuff. Timestamps. Continuity. If something changed later, I'd know it wasn't just me forgetting. Tonight is mostly for the hallway again. At 9:14 p.m., the apartment layout is normal. Front door opens into the kitchen. Narrow hall to the bedroom. Bathroom on the left halfway down. Closet at the end. Blue runner rug in the hallway. Shoes against the wall. No boxes. No extra doors. Nothing unusual. I checked twice. The reason I'm sounding careful is because yesterday morning the hallway was longer. Not physically impossible longer. Nothing like that. It just took too many steps. I know how stupid that sounds. I walked from the kitchen to the bedroom carrying coffee and realized I was still walking after where the bedroom should have been. I remember slowing down because I thought I was distracted, but then I passed the bathroom twice. Same light fixture. Same cracked tile near the baseboard. Same towel hanging halfway through the doorway. I stopped immediately after the second pass. I remember the coffee shaking in my hand because I knew very clearly that panic would make it worse somehow. I stood there trying to think of a normal explanation. Maybe I'd turned around without noticing. Maybe I was more tired than I thought. Then the bedroom door appeared where it should have been. Just there again. No transition. 1 second there was more hallway. Then there wasn't. I didn't tell anyone because there's no version of that conversation that ends well. So I made a rule instead. When something feels wrong, stop moving. That's what the notes are for. Instructions from a version of me that already made mistakes. There are 7 notes now. Most of them are practical. If the kitchen light is on when you wake up, leave it on. Do not check the closet before work. Shoes stay against the left wall only. One of them just says, "You noticed too early last time." I don't remember writing that one. I've been trying to pin down what too early means. At first I thought maybe I was sleepwalking. I even set flour near the bedroom door one night to check for footprints. Nothing. Then I tried keeping every light on in the apartment. Then no lights at all. The hallway changes either way. Not often. Maybe once every few days. Always subtle. The rug slightly farther from the kitchen tile than before. The bathroom door angled inward a little more than it should be. The sense that the apartment is correcting itself after I look directly at something. I know how that sounds too. But recordings help because they force sequence. They establish what happened first. Yesterday I counted 13 steps from the kitchen to the bedroom. Tonight it's 11. I just checked while the recorder was paused. 11 exactly. I know the old count because I repeated it every night after the first incident. I wanted certainty. Something measurable. 11 now. which means either I've been wrong every other night, or the apartment isn't staying consistent between recordings. There's another thing. The notes are changing, not appearing, changing. I noticed because I started photographing them after finding the duplicates. The wording shifts slightly after a day or two. Not enough to seem impossible at first glance. Just enough that you question yourself. The first closet note said, "Do not check the closet before work." Now it says, "Do not let it interrupt your routine." I compared the photos 3 times. Same paper stain in the corner. Same crease. Different sentence. I spent an hour today trying to convince myself I edited the photos somehow by accident. I didn't. Around noon, I pulled every note together onto the kitchen table and realized something worse. None of them are warnings. They're procedures. That sounds obvious now, but it took me too long to see it. Warnings tell you what to avoid. Procedures assume the thing is already happening. I think that's why I'm recording tonight. Not because I'm afraid exactly. Because I need proof of sequence again. At 10:03 p.m., the apartment is still normal. I checked the hallway before restarting this recording. 11 steps. Bathroom halfway down. Closet closed. There's a draft coming from under the closet door now, though. I taped the vent in the bathroom shut 2 weeks ago because of one of the notes. Maybe that's related. Air pressure. Old building. Still, the closet door wasn't rattling earlier. I'm trying not to look at it constantly because that's become another unofficial rule. Things get worse when I monitor them too closely. That sounds irrational, but I didn't invent it out of nowhere. 3 nights ago, I stayed awake in the kitchen watching the hallway from the table. At around 2 a.m., I noticed the shoes had moved farther down the wall. Not suddenly. Gradually. I only realized because I couldn't remember where they'd started. That was the first time I understood the problem properly. It isn't that things change. It's that the change happens at the same speed as certainty disappearing. You can watch it happen and still lose track halfway through. I remember staring at the shoes and thinking I should grab my phone, take a picture, document it, but by the time I reached for the phone, I couldn't remember if the shoes had actually moved or if I'd only imagined the original position. That frightened me more than the hallway. Not confusion. Replacement. Like my mind was being updated slightly behind reality. I found another note after that. This one was underneath the runner rug. If you start marking the walls, you are already behind. I don't remember writing that either. I should probably mention the tape. There's a strip of black tape across the bedroom doorframe now. About chest height. I put it there 4 days ago because I wanted a visual reference point. If the hallway changed length again, the tape would help confirm perspective. Except I came home from work today and there were 2 strips of tape. Perfectly parallel. Same material. Same tear pattern at the ends. I checked every drawer for a second roll. Nothing. I removed the lower strip immediately, but now I can't remember which strip I originally placed. That's been happening more often. Small losses first. Order. Sequence. Confidence. Not memories exactly. Priority. Like my brain can still access the information but no longer knows which version came first. The closet just made a noise. Not a bang. More like pressure settling. I'm not going to check it tonight. That was another instruction. If the sound comes from inside the apartment, continue normally. I used to think that note was ridiculous. Now I think it might be the most important one. Because the realization I had earlier, the one I can't really stop thinking about, is that the notes aren't trying to help me notice the changes. They're trying to help me stay functional after I stop noticing them. There are too many procedures for this to be recent. And there's one note I haven't mentioned because I kept hoping I misunderstood it. It was taped underneath the kitchen table. I only found it this morning. Same handwriting. Same careful folds. It says, "When the hallway reaches 9 steps, begin recording immediately."